Hello, this is Maja. I'm part of the Associate Trainer program for Art2Ride, and here I am with my 6-year-old mare, Oprah. She has been with me for 6 months now, and that's how long I've been training her according to Art2Ride. The hardest things the things I've been struggling with the most when it comes to her training is having her relax. She is a really reactive horse, and due to this in the beginning I had kind of small circles, which I now, after a while training horses and seeing different methods and how you achieve results, I think if I could go back, I wouldn't do that. I would just make her go forward. So making her listen to me and having her relax and not listen to everything else that is around her has really been a struggle. And so when lunging, as you will see, she doesn't really stretch that much, especially in the walk. There are some periods of times where she really stretches, and then she kind of comes up and have a semi-stretch, as I call it. But I've learned that I don't want to push her. So if she walks this calmly as she does now in this video, I won't push her even more, because then she just starts to spook and look at everything else. So I kind of I wait her out, and then when I feel that she is calm enough, I ask her to step out a little bit more with her hind legs, so that she can really push through her back and get that back up and stretch down and forward again. And you will see in the background someone is, I think you can call it semi-lunging. It's with 2 lines, and I ask you all to not comment on this. Just look at what I'm doing with my horse. So as you will see, she her bum goes a lot up and down, and she is a really active horse by nature. So I never have to make her go even more forward than she does. And there will be a part in this video where she kind of runs away because she hears a sound on the outside. That's really nice stretch. And as you will see right there, she stretched for a couple of seconds and then she came up again. And here I'm doing a bit of a smaller circle, and she comes down again. So sometimes I do a smaller circle, and usually I do it when, as you will see here, she looks a lot to the outside. And this is just to gain her focus. You really don't want to be on that small of a circle. You want it to be all over the width of the arena, but I don't want to come out to the wall, because when you come out to the wall, the horse kind of gets a stabilizer, so to speak, and I want her to be all by herself, so she has to stabilize herself all the time. And so when I ride, I really try to keep myself a bit to the inside of the wall. And as you will see here, I came a bit closer to her, and that's because she was looking a lot to the outside. She wasn't really paying attention to me, so I stepped a bit closer to her, and as you can see now, she kind of settles a bit better and stretches a bit more. So that's really nice. And something I've noticed with her is that she has a hard time keeping her nose in front of the vertical. So when she really stretches and really gets that back up and her nose is in front of the vertical, that is when her withers start to come up. So before her nose, when her nose is behind the vertical, the withers never really come up, but she can still get her back up a little bit, but she can't really get the withers and get that full stretch like we want to. So this day she was quite calm, and I really liked that she was this calm. It really helps when there is another horse in the arena, because she doesn't really like to be by herself. She gets quite scared and doesn't really want to listen to me. Like you saw there, she kind of runs away a little bit when she hears noises and so on. And the gate is about where the camera is standing, so that is where the scary place is, so to speak, because people are going through there all the time. So that's a really nice stretch, I would say. And when I say when she is stretching, you can see that she elongates her neck. She doesn't just drop it down. So that was what she did in the beginning. The first months of training, she just dropped it straight down. And now she has more of a bend to it, a natural bend, and that's because her top line is building, and she can have that. You can call it a rainbow if you want to, over her top line. And I've seen a lot of changes in her body. When she first came, she had such tight muscles. I thought she looked like she'd been, like she could do, like it would just be to sit on her and ride her, and I wouldn't have to work her from the ground for that long. But then after 2 or 3 days, she just dropped all her muscles. So I think that was her just, being tense when she came to me. So that's a nice stretch, and as you can see, she kind of tucks in her nose at times. We really don't want that, and then sometimes she comes out with the nose, and then it's harder for her to stretch down. And when I do walk work, I really like the work in hand, because in the work in hand you can affect the horse in so many ways, just like you would when you're riding, except you don't have the pressure on their backs. So when I really like the work in hand for walk work. But lunging is really good as well, and you and the horse gets to kind of be on their own, so to speak, and doesn't have the constant, pressure or such from the rider. But the rider is on the ground, but still. So we're just taking, and I always walk a lot with my horses. That's something I've really, I've discovered that it's really important. So here, starting in the trot, you can see there I made the mistake to try and get her back legs out, and here she kind of bolts away. And that's how she is. I mean, I think I was a bit too hard with my hand there, and someone accidentally walked in front of the camera here, so unfortunately you didn't get to see the very end, but she calmed down directly. So here we go, just walking again, and as you can see, if you rewind and look at when she bolts away, I think I was a bit too close. And here, as I said, someone walked in front of the camera, so I've already been walking for 1 or 2 laps, and I could have been walking more, but I decided that the bolt was just, her hearing something, and so I decided that she was calm enough to start the trot. And initially I think she has a really nice stretch, not as nice as I would. Right there, I really like when she does that, and then she comes up a bit and then she comes down a bit, so she is really not consistent in her stretch yet. I would say she is semi-consistent, and since I'm being quite close to her, because as I said, she was not really paying attention today, I walked a bit closer, and so it's kind of hard to keep up with her, but that's something you have to practice on, because you have to give the horse the space it needs to maintain its motion, because if you go on a too small of a circle, as I did in the beginning when starting out, I was really new at lunging and so on, so I made really small circles. Now I've really practiced on getting her out and getting her forward and really calm. So what I've noticed is she gets less nervous and looks less at things when I have these big circles, because it's more relaxing for her to just go forward instead of around and around and around. And so you can see her tail kind of flopping around, and I really like this trot that she has. It doesn't have to be any faster, I think, because she really isn't ready. I think it's a nice pace, and even though she isn't completely stretching at all times, she has her moments like there, and she kind of comes down and finds the rhythm. And that's also one thing you have to keep in mind, that when the horse comes all the way down and really finds its back, it can get kind of surprised, and maybe it doesn't even know what to do, so it may come up again with its head and drop the back, because it hasn't experienced keeping the back up, and also due to lack of muscles, that can happen. But she's at least semi-stretching, and at times stretching at full length, and that's really nice. She has become much more calm, and has more of a do instead of the legs going all over, and you not really knowing what to do. So right about here she has a really nice bounce off the ground, and if you look at her tail, you can see that it's slightly lifted and that it's bouncing back and forth. And right there she wanted to walk, but I told her to go on for a bit longer. You will see she is stretching really nicely here. There she came up, she kind of heard something on the outside, and there she comes down again. So it's really kind of up and down with her. The other horse I have, she's more consistent, and she's only 4 years old, and this one is 6. So it's really a lot of mental training as well, because it's been hard for her, I will say, being calm and staying calm during the sessions. Some days she's really nervous in the beginning, and some days she's really nice throughout the whole session, and then some days she kind of towards the end gets nervous and anxious and wants to look at things or hear things on the outside. So here we're just stopping and changing the reins. I clipped that away because I really want I like to snuggle a bit with her when she's been good. So here we go in the other direction. As you can see, me still being quite close to her, and what you saw in the beginning when she kind of reared off, she doesn't do that, a lot during a session. And if I feel like she won't calm down, I just do the walk. But that was just one time during this session, and she has calmed down really nicely. And here you can see she's trying to stretch, but it's really hard for her. I think it's really, when I'm breathing in a calm pace and just doing every movement really calmly, she does stretch better. So that's one thing with these horses that are really reactive. What you feel and what you do and what you send on to the horse, it will shape the horse a lot, even during just one session. So here she stretches, semi-stretches, I would say. She has a hard time focusing on me, but still I think it's okay. She really tries, and when she does come out and stretches, some days we have just a whole session of her just stretching, and that's the best days that I can have. And then some days, I can't lunge her because it's too many noises outside, or too many people in the arena. And that's one thing as well. You'll see here that the girl that was here with her horse, she has walked away now. So for her to stay this calm when someone goes out, I really like that. She's still, keeping up the work, and not thinking about, oh no, the other horse went away and I'm all by myself, because she kind of was that, a little bit like that in the beginning. So that's really nice. And I think it's, at least here in Sweden, it's kind of a luxury to have an indoor arena, because it's really, really, really windy at times. And so if I were, when I was staying at another stable, we only had an outdoor arena, and so some days you could just do the work in hand, because really the horse wouldn't be able to focus on anything, nor could you, because it was so windy. So here she stretches nicely and then she comes up. She's becoming better when I start to trot her. In the beginning she kind of threw her head up and rushed away, but now she's more calm, and I really appreciate that she's become so much more calmer. And as you will see here, she wanted to canter there, so I told her no, made a smaller circle, and yeah, so as you can see, she kind of wants to go away, cantering, and kind of, so that's when I take her in on a smaller circle, because you can't really allow her to just go away doing whatever she wants. So in this direction she has a bit of a harder time. She has a harder time bending towards the inside, but she's stretching really nicely, and it's quite the same as in the other direction. She comes up at times and then she comes down. I've found that me having a correct contact with the line helps a lot, and you wouldn't think that having a really quiet hand on the lunge line would help, but horses are sensitive animals, and even if you're a few feet away, they will feel that in the line. So that's something I've really noticed, that the calmer I'm in my hand, the more quiet she is in her mouth, and the more she stretches down. So that's something that you all can think about when you're lunging, is what am I doing with my hand. And there you saw I kind of pushed my hand backwards, and if I could go back I wouldn't do that. When you take your hand in a backward motion, it gets quite stiff, and you really don't want that. So, but that's what's so good about filming yourselves. You will see what you do that you think afterwards you could have done better. And as you see here, she's a bit tired, and when she's tired she kind of wants to she kind of flicks her head a bit and wants to go off cantering, but there she came. You saw that was a really nice example of a change in rhythm, because when she came down, all the way down there, you could see the rhythm just getting really, really nice. And instead of just, it was really 2 beat instead of 4 beat. So that's also quite fun. When they come down, you can really see how they change their pace. So here we're just, going around. I ask her to move out at times. It's kind of, I think you can kind of see my whip, and I I try to remind her about her inside legs, and I think she's been taking it much better with the whip, because in the beginning she just wanted to run away from it. So she still takes up her head a bit sometimes when I show her the whip, but usually she stretches down even more, and that's really nice, I think. And she has become a lot more trusting in me, and that's something I really like about the evolution of our relationship, so to speak. And right here she comes into a really nice stretch, and that is when I decide to walk. So here in the end of our session we're just walking, and some sessions I tend to go over to the work in hand instead of walking a lot on the lunge line in the end, and I think I'm doing it in this session, so there won't be a lot of walking in the end here. And I won't show you any canter today because I haven't really started cantering her yet on the lunge line. I do try it some days, but normally we don't canter, so that's why I won't include it in this video, because she doesn't have the muscle for it, and as you can see she's really struggling with just the walk and the trot, but I will keep trying to introduce it as we come along, and when I feel she is ready for it, I will send in a video of her cantering as well on the lunge line. So this is really the end of our session. We don't do much, and after this I thought she didn't stretch well enough in the end here in the walk, so I went over to the work in hand, but that's not, as I said, shown in the video. So again, this is Maja from the Associate Trainer Program of Art2Ride.